What's going on, YouTube? So we're back with the GSXR600, and my buddy has got the new tires mounted and balanced. As you can see, it's just about ready, cleaned off all the old grease, so we're going to apply some new grease and start reinstalling the axles. Also, while we took the rear wheel off, we did notice that his rear brake pads were quite low, so we're going to go ahead and replace them as well. Okay. Bring the pinch bolts in. I did reinstall the wheel spacer that was on this side as well. I can't forget that. Okay. Next up, we are going to reattach the calipers on both sides. There's only 2 bolts holding them on. Okay, now move over to the other side, same thing. Okay, calipers on, slide the bolts in, tighten up. Okay, so we notice these rear pads are very low, as you can see. So we got a fresh set of EBCs. We're gonna go ahead and crack the pin here. I can do that one-handed. And I'm using a little wedge here to just push the piston back in to make room for the new pads. And then I will pull the pin fully out and we can get the new ones in there. Okay, new pads are in. You want to make sure that the back lines up with these grooves and that you spread or push the piston back in enough so that there is room for the rotor to go in here. So put the pin back in, tighten the pin. We're ready for the rear wheel after we clean up the nasty grease off the axle. So we'll get some fresh grease, clean up the wheel spacers, and we'll get it in there. Okay, cleaned up, ready for grease. You don't need to go crazy thick with this stuff. You just want a nice thin layer on the axle. Again, you want to make sure you have your wheel spacers where they belong. Usually I take them off each side and lay them down. Same goes for these little spacers. I don't know how you can tell, but how good you can tell there's a nice thin layer. And get that out of the way. That's what we're going with. So that's there. Ready to go. Close the grease up. We got to get the rotor in and get the chain around the sprocket as well. So, a little bit of finagling. Chain is on. Pop the wheel spacer out on this side. Remember the order that these went in, which was the axle spacer, washer, lock nut. Now the chain was already a pretty good tension before, so we don't need to adjust the chain, although we are going to clean this one. As you can see, that's how the axle spacers sit. Wheel spacers are in place. You can see the pads, or the rotors in between the pads. Now let's just tighten it up. Okay, real important is make sure that you go ahead and you squeeze that front brake lever so that way the pads get pushed up and make contact with the rotors. That way, as your customer or you yourself are ready to ride, the brakes are right there, ready to go. Front's done. So same thing, because we were playing with the brakes and we put new pads in there, and we want to go ahead and push down on the brake so that the pads are right on the rotor now. Okay, give it a once over, make sure you tightened all the bolts, didn't miss anything, and take it out, take it easy. New tires need to break in, they might be a little slick, you need to heat them up. So enjoy, and thanks for watching.